Welcome to today's episode of Necrons and More Live Special Edition Skorpekh Destroyers. And it's coming right up.
Necrons!
Nick speaking, and welcome to this live stream. Right, we are here. Yes, again. Very, very sorry to everyone who jumped onto the live stream at 9 o'clock this morning. Totally my error. Set it to 9 a.m. as opposed to 9 p.m. So apologies for that. Hopefully you made it back for tonight's stream. Okay, so welcome to everyone who is currently watching. We've got CM Wargames, Richard in the stream. He's my moderator. He's going to shut you down if you swear. So yes, what a month April has been. I've had quite a good time, to be fair, because, well, it was half term, Easter holidays, 2 weeks of not having to do the school run. And if you know me by now, then you'll know that my school run is quite a long journey. So it was great to be able to just drive straight to work, back home again. It's only a 10-minute drive, and I was home early. I was leaving late. I got a lot of hobby done before work, which was awesome. And the World Championship snooker was on. I'm a huge snooker fan. So for 2 weeks solid, I was just watching snooker. So it's been a really, really good time for me in April. I hope everyone else had a good April too. Right, let's see who we've got in the house. We have White Shadow 891. He says, hi, hiya. Aquamat88, yo, I hope you are all having a great day. You too. We have Mark Kirby. Good evening, Mark. He says, good evening, all. D. Wright, hiya from Liverpool. Hello there. Hope you're doing well. Very well, thank you. So, yeah, what have I got to say before we move on to the Skorpekh Destroyer Edition? Well, I've got something very special to show you. And this is really, really cool and a gift. So let's have a quick look at it. Ta-da! It's a dice tray, a new dice tray, which Richard got for me as a present. Really, really cool. Loving this. I've used it once. And yeah, it's really nice to use. And I'm going to have this alongside my Necron tray. So when I've got some real sort of big handfuls of dice, I can sort of split them up between the two trays. But yeah, really, really cool. It's also good to use when I'm not playing my Necrons, when I'm playing my Aldar or Tyranids, then I can use this tray. So really, really cool. Thank you, Richard. I really appreciate that. Peter Nicholas, hello there. I'm happy to be with you live. It's great to have you, Pete, with us. Craig Hoyland says, hi, Richard. Everyone saying hi to Richard. So yeah, really, really cool. Thank you so much, Rich. That's really, really nice of you. I can see from the stream, well, for me anyway, my hair looks incredibly long. I'm due for a haircut, probably going to have it done tomorrow. I have it cut usually I used to have it cut every 4 weeks, but since lockdown, I've sort of got used to it being a bit longer. So now I go every 6 weeks. But it is, even though it's not long, for my hairstyle, it is long. So yeah, haircut definitely due. So I'm just rambling just a little bit, just to encourage people to join the stream before we get into the meat of the stream. But it's going to be a fun show today. We've got Necron's Tactical Corner. We're going to be looking at my new Skorpekh Destroyer List. We're going to have a look at the polls which I've recently posted. I'm going to give my opinions on the results and my thoughts. And of course, we've got Necrons of the Week. And there is going to be a more section also. So let me have a look at my notes, make sure I've got everything there. Oh yes, one extra thing. I've handwritten it on the notes because it was before I printed them, or after I printed them even. But today I got a new feature on YouTube called Super Thanks. I don't think you can see it on live streams. I think it's only for videos. But it's basically like a super chat, which is what you have on a live stream, where you can just like make a donation to the channel, and then your comment gets highlighted, which is very useful when there's a lot of comments and you want your comment to be seen. And then I believe this super thanks is effectively the same, but just on a pre-recorded video, so you can just like make a donation if you want to. So I've got that feature today, so I enabled it. So we'll see if that serves me well or not. Okay, so let's have a chat about hobby. Aha, we've got Underdog Painting in the house. Howdy peeps. Hiya, Bazza. Okay, so yeah, hobby. What have I been doing? Well, I have now finished painting my Ophidian Destroyers and, of course, my Skorpekh Destroyers, hence this edition of the live stream regarding Skorpekh Destroyers. So I now have 18 Skorpekh Destroyers fully painted, and I can't wait to play them. That's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, I finished painting those, and I have made painting tutorials for both of those units, and I've already edited them. They're in the pipeline, ready to come. I was thinking about running 3 Doomstalkers with a Technomancer in the middle. Is that too cheesy, or is that all right? It's not cheesy. I've been doing that quite a lot previously. I'm not necessarily sure that 3 Doomstalkers these days is necessarily the best choice. I think potentially heavy destroyers are, but they are certainly fun. And with the Technomancer, you need that Technomancer with them as well, especially if you're taking 3. If you're taking just 1, I mean, I have got away with just 1 in a list, but the Technomancer is very useful for units of 3. Well, not units, but for taking 3. Right, so I've also built and painted my Parasites of More tracks. So yeah, built it, I've painted it, and if you are a member on my membership, you would have seen my progress pictures of that unit. Of course, you will see my finished product at some point on the channel, but yeah, if you're a member, then you get to see all my progress pictures, which is pretty cool. So if you're not a member, that is maybe a reason why you could become one. And you'd set off my membership button, which I have all ready to go. Okay, so that is it really. That's what I've been doing hobby-wise. So that is finished. I've got a very special Necron project upcoming, but it's not quite ready. So I've got probably around 2 weeks before that arrives. It's just a case of what hobby do I do before then. I've got a couple of the HQs to build, I've got a couple to paint, the newer ones, so I might endeavour to do some HQs maybe. So we got some comments. Here we go. Look forward to seeing them. Thanks, Bazza. Aqua, you can do that. Try anything. See what works for you. Yes, no, I was gutted I didn't get to face it. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that is. I'll let you continue your chat, and I have my coffee ready to go. Okay, so we're going to talk about more first. Of course, the show is Necrons and More, and this is the little More section now that I'm trying to introduce some of my other armies on the channel in battle reports, primarily playing against Necrons. Whether I'm playing Necrons or Richard is playing Necrons, that's the whole idea. So yesterday, Richard and I played the first game with the Tyranid Codex, and I was playing Tyranids, 1000 points. Richard had his Necrons. Fun game, great game, no spoilers of course, but the battle report is edited, it's in the system ready to go, and we have a super chat.
Super chat.
Thanks for donating.
Thank you, Jar East. You just want me to say your name, don't you? Hey Nick, CM in the chat, and hello chat. Moving at the moment, so all my Necrons are far away. Can't wait to get back into the hobbying. Oh yes, moving, packing those miniatures away, getting them back out again. Big hello from Norway. Hello Norway. So yes, let's back to the more. So yeah, I played the Tyranid battle report, as I said, and one thing I've noticed in that Tyranid Codex is where are Shrike? Where are the Tyranid Shrike? Have they just disappeared? So that's the warriors with wings, right? It was a thing. I'm sure it was a thing. Please, somebody tell me it was a thing, because I've got the models. They're converted. I used some warriors and I used some old gargoyle wings, and I pinned them all together, made some Shrike, and they're really, really cool. And I've played them in the past, and they're not in the codex. There's no wing upgrades, and there's no Shrike unit. Or if I missed something. Talking of that, I noticed a few discrepancies with the Aldar codex as well. In particular, the Vipers, where you used to be able to take 2 weapons on the Vipers. The underslung gun could be upgraded to the cannon. It doesn't seem like you can do that anymore. Luckily, I didn't glue mine on. I magnetised them. Good thing about magnets. And I also noticed the War Walkers have changed. So the War Walkers now used to have 2 guns on the top. They were twin linked, I believe, or they were at one point. But now it's just 1 gun. So now the model is out of date. Doesn't match the rules because you've got 2 like gun holders. I think you can build it probably with just 1, but obviously everyone's built it with 2 because that's what you could take. Even Games Workshop in the codex have a picture with the 2 guns on the top. 2 different guns actually in their picture. So does that mean we're getting new models, maybe new walkers with the new upgrade rules, or maybe just GW have just ignored the models totally and just made rules up for whatever they want? It was just something that I noticed and I thought I would bring it up in the More section. Jar says, of course, he just wanted me to try and say his name. I actually forgot there were Tyranid warriors with wings. Shrike, yeah, I converted some a while back after they were featured in White Dwarf, I think. They may have been featured in White Dwarf originally. I'm pretty sure they were in the Codex as well at some point. I'm playing a game of 40k this weekend. I play Orcs and my battle is against Abaddon. Sounds interesting. Sounds interesting. Okay, so let's get on to some
Necrons!
Because we all love Necrons, don't we? And we're going to start off with
Necrons!
Of the week.
Necrons of the week. And I've got a special Necrons of the week for you. So if you're new to this stream, what I do is I look at some community pictures of Necrons, whether they're conversions, painting, or just something very cool that I like, and I just share them with you. Usually about five pictures. And this month we've got something quite special because we're looking at my Necrons. Yes, I thought I would showcase some of my Necrons because, well, quite a few of you are new. Maybe you just haven't seen them. And if you have seen them, well, hopefully you'll just enjoy taking a closer look and maybe just having my commentaries about them. So are we excited to look at some of my Necrons? I had to lose a pair of arms to place the wings in. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Well, I put the rending claws on the warrior feet, and then I had the scything talons on one set of arms, and then I had the wings on the other set of arms. That's how I did mine. Okay, let me get the view all set up. I think we should be there. Right, here we go. So the first one is my Acanthite conversions. So if you don't know, Acanthites are a Forge World miniature. There they are, they're a real actual miniature. And I do now have some of these, but at the time I had some wraiths, old metal wraiths. I had extra, and I thought, what can I do with these? And I thought, I know, I'll convert them into Acanthites. So that's what I did. And let's get one of these, have a closer look. Right, hopefully you can see, hopefully you can see that okay. So of course I used the actual metal body and I just bent it or reshaped it. I used some bits from my bits box, Praetorians. I've got this little spider head and those little claws. Put the gun on the top. Did some sort of spike on the tail. Let's have a look so I can find a picture of the tail. I can't remember what that is. It's stuff from my bits box, basically. Oh, there you go. I think that's a canoptic spider claw. And then on the back, if I can find a picture of the back, there we go. I reshaped the metal wraith drastically, actually. That was a lot of filing to get it into that shape. But I was very pleased with the results. And whilst they don't have these little hover things here, I don't particularly like them. And actually, when I built my acanthrites, the proper ones, I didn't put these on. I actually cut off the ball and I put the ball in the socket. So yeah, that's it. And I was going to show you these all painted. There they are, all painted. So just got to check the view, make sure you can see them. Yeah, there you go. So what do you think of those? Do you like them? Necrons. Hello, Joltik. Joltik. I've actually only played acanthrites once. They were fun to play, but yeah, you've got to get in quick and get that gun shooting, and then, well, to be fair, they did actually survive pretty well. It was against 6+ Stevo and his orcs, but they are fairly fragile, but they're fun. They're fun. Okay, so next out of my collection, I've chosen this guy. This guy here. Now, I'm using this guy as a Catan, a transcendent Catan, and I'll be totally honest with you, the base of this conversion wasn't, oops, keep doing that, wasn't actually my original idea. Just trying to get a better view. I think that's about as best I can do. So let me run over it. So we've got the bottom section here is basically a epic Warhound Titan. And then we've got Abaddon's arm on this side, the old metal arm. Over here, this of course is from a Destroyer, Necron Raider. And I think this is also from the Epic Titan. And then all these Necron symbols you see, I added myself with these like cardboard actually, and then little cutouts from the laser cut terrain that I had. So the original idea was someone else's. I was given it in pieces and I built it, added the Necron symbols and stuff, and then I painted it. But I've been using this as a Catan. I just think it looks really, really cool. Let's just give you a few more pictures. Side view, back view. There he is. Pretty scary. Hello Nick, what is your all-time favourite Necron unit? Probably Wraiths. I think I've always enjoyed Wraiths and using Wraiths. Okay, so there we go, that's my Catan. Next up, I'm going to show you my flayed one conversion. So I have 60 flayed ones, as you know, and this is how I converted some of the claws, because some of them which I purchased second hand didn't have claws, or the claws were broken, and I had a massive box of Tyranid bits, and in there were some Hormigaunt scything talons, loads of them. And what I did, and the reason why I had that is because I got some Hormigaunts and I made them into Termagants with spine fists, and all the scything talons I had left over. So what I did is I reshaped them, I trimmed them, cut them down, and then I glued them onto the hand. And then on the next picture just here, I did some green stuff. Now it's not actually green. Let's see if I can get this closer. There you go. It's not actually green, it's grey stuff, but it's basically the same. And I just wrapped it around and just made it into skin. So yeah, that's how I did my flayed ones there. However, I had a message from a follower of mine, and he'd done some conversions of a flayed one, which I thought was pretty cool. And whilst we're talking about flayed ones, I thought I would share with you. Okay, so let's have a look at what he did. Now, sadly, the picture is a little dark. However, I'm sure you can get the gist of it. So he's used, obviously, the new Necron warrior, and he's cut up some of the scarabs, and he's used the little claws, arms of the scarabs, and made them into fingers. And obviously, still need to do the green stuff, skin flayed over him. But I thought that was a pretty cool idea. If you have the scarabs spare, I'm not sure how many scarabs spare you would have, because you can never have enough scarabs. I've got 60 bases, and I still wouldn't cut them up to make claws, but it certainly is an option if you're so inclined. More flayed ones, please. Okay, so moving on. My next one, a lot of you probably have seen this, but I'm sure there are some that haven't, and that is the Nightbringer. Not the Nightbringer. Someone's just disturbed me. Hello? Right, someone's come in the room and totally lost my trail of thought. It's okay though, we can rescue the situation. This is my Void Dragon. So this is artwork, which I got from Google, of course. This is way before the actual Void Dragon model came out. And I found this artwork and I thought this would be pretty cool to make into a model. So I went to eBay, I got an old metal Nightbringer, and this is what I did. I made him. Just there. So primarily it's the Nightbringer with lots of extras and also green stuff, although obviously it's grey once again. So lots of trimming. I've got a video on me actually making this miniature. It's like a whole video. And as you can see, I've used some of the Nightbringer bits of metal just here to sort of bring this cloak into, well, just to make it look like part of the model really. But yeah, that's how he looks. I thought I made a pretty decent job. And of course I painted him, so let's have a look at the painted one. There he is, all painted. I had fun with this, like lightning effects. This was back in the time when you had a Catan shard and you could take the different rules for it. So you had like one entry, but you could make several versions of it. And I used this as the Transcendent Thunderbolt. Lightning coming out. I think there's a picture of all of my Catans together. Yeah, there we are. So my Catans, well, the old Catans, obviously we've got lots more now. I converted some Aos Crypt Ghouls to flayed ones with spare warrior heads, which worked out at 50p a model. The price of them from Games Workshop is criminal. Totally agree. That 50p a model, you can't moan at that. Not seen that video, we'll have to look it up. Okay, Mark, yeah, well, I've got what I did a video called Retro Nick, and I put all of my really old videos about this conversion, because they were in lots of little clips, because of course you could only make under 10-minute videos then, and I put them all together into one video, and I cut out as many ums and ers as I could in that video. But yeah, if you're interested, it is certainly available on the channel. Okay, let's see what else I've picked out for you. I think we've got one more. Okay, this guy. I've just got this guy out to show you because I've seen quite a few conversions, obviously with the newer miniatures. I've seen one with the newer wraiths. I've seen one with the Ophidian Destroyers, where somebody's put one of the new Necron Lords on the Ophidian Destroyer body, and of course on the actual Locust Destroyer. So I thought I would share this because it's a really, really old conversion. I think this was my very first ever conversion that I'd done. And of course it's the Necron Wraith body, the metal body with the Destroyer Lord top piece. It's very basic, but I'm very proud of it because it was my first conversion. And back in the days, the Destroyer Lord with the Wraiths was really, really good with the Lookout Sir, where you could allocate wounds and all that shenanigans. So I had a lot of fun playing this guy. Really, really fun. Games Workshop need to make a new Nightbringer. Like that conversion. Thank you, Marcus. So yeah, that is this month's Necrons of the week. And just a point on that, why is it called Necrons of the week when this is a monthly show? Why isn't it called Necrons of the month? Well, the reason for that is when I came up with this live format, I wasn't sure how often I was going to go live. I was thinking maybe once a week, so once every other week, or once a month. And I thought if I just call it Necrons of the week, it doesn't really matter. When I go live, I can just use it. As it is, I've gone every month, and I think that's a good one because it just keeps me going. And it's every Thursday at 9 p.m, not a.m. The first Thursday of the month. Okay. Love the conversions. Thank you very much. That's good to hear. Okay, let's have a quick cup of coffee and we'll get on to some Skorpekh Destroyers, as this is a Skorpekh Destroyer special. I want an Ophidian Lord. I just can't understand why we don't have one. I know. Plus Necrons of the week rolls off the tongue better. That's true. That is true. Okay, here we go then. So we are going to go back to table down. We'll have a look at the poll results first. So I asked a couple of questions on my community tab. I believe that Nick is part Catan. Well, you never know. So I said, so you're running 2 units of Skorpekh Destroyers in a list and want a cryptic to run alongside each unit. Do you go for Chronomancers for the 5++ or Technomancers for Rites of Reanimation? That was the question. Now I already knew what I'm going for in my new list, but I thought it would be fun, interesting to see what everyone else says. And as you can see, unanimously, 66% said 2 Technomancers, and just 34 2 Chronomancers. The question is, do I agree? Okay, so it's an interesting one because my new list, of course, actually has 3 units of Skorpekh Destroyers rather than 2. But I didn't want to post the question about 2 and 3. And I think when you only have 1 unit, I think that's a slightly easier choice. But with 2 units, I thought that was much more difficult. And my personal answer is 2 Chronomancers. And I wanted to chat about why that is. So I've actually gone for the, not the majority, but there you go. And this is my reasons. So the Chronomancers, of course, yes, they give you that 5++ invulnerable save. Now the Technomancer can, of course, do Rites of Reanimation. You can get your miniatures back, but, well, you have to have your unit alive. So if they get taken out in 1 turn, you've got no chance of getting them back. So I feel that the 5+ invulnerable save gives me better chance of that not happening. So I think it's a bit more defensive. So that's 1. 2, I can re-roll the charges with Chronomancers, particularly good with Skorpekh Destroyers, being able to re-roll that charge. 3, the Chronomancer has a 4+ invulnerable save and none of the other cryptics do. So that's also very nice. And of course it does have the 8-inch movement and the fly, which if you're taking Technomancers, of course, you're only going to get that if you take the Cloak, of course. Plus, he has a pretty decent, well, for a Cryptek, attack. So you've got the Chrono Tendrils giving you those extra attacks. And of course you can upgrade the staff for a pretty decent staff as well for shooting with the Eon staff. So I think all of those reasons are very, very good reasons. Now, interestingly, in the comments, there's a fair few of you saying one of each. And I can certainly see that, especially if you're going to put all your eggs in one basket and have like one unit, you're going to protect it really well, bubble wrap it, maybe have the characters there to give you that 5+ save and to give you the right to reanimation. But in my list in particular, which is why I said 2 units, is the 2 units are going to work probably independently. They're not going to be too close together. They're going to be going out to objectives to target different units, and you want one character with them. And that was really what the question is about. Do you have the Technomancer or the Chronomancer? I personally think the Chronomancer. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Really surprised at that. In a vacuum, the charge, reroll and 5+ is way better than one model being raised. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I totally agree. Nick Powers is house with a Catan. Well, the 5++ is okay, but that's pretty random. Technomancers are simply more flexible and can support multiple units. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the Technomancer is not good. I'm just saying that in my list, I think the Chronomancers are the way to go. Especially when I play Richard, because Richard, pretty much whatever army he takes, he's got invulnerable saves everywhere. And I want a piece of that action. Talking to the wrong camera. I want a piece of that action. I want invulnerable saves. So at least I can have invulnerable saves. Okay, so let's have a look at the next question I posed. Do you take plasmacytes? Sorry, do you take plasmacytes with your Skorpekh destroyers? I gave you 3 options: all the time, some of the time, or never. As you can see, we've got quite a mixed result there. Just under 50% saying some of the time, and roughly to 30% saying all the time, and 25% never. So my Skorpekh Destroyer list, I actually started off with the plasmacytes in the list, but they've been taken out, so I've decided not to put them in. So yeah, these are the reasons really. So they're going to give up, grind them down, or potentially other secondary objectives quite easily. Easy to kill. If you want to increase the strength, you do have the stratagem to do that. And okay, the stratagem plus the plasmacyte is going to give you, even better strength. But one reason why I was initially thinking of having the plasmacytes in the list is because I play against orcs quite a lot, and they have that ramshackle, and I'm thinking, can I get those weapons up to strength 8 to stop the ramshackle? And whilst I could do that with the big weapon, the smaller weapons, it's just not going to happen. I can get them up to strength 7 with the strat and the plasmacyte. So I just decided not. It wasn't worth it, basically. You could potentially use the plasmacyte to take Overwatch. So when you're assault, assault with the plasmacyte first, but it's sort of, almost. I mean, it's a tactic, and of course, you've got to keep that 6-inch coherency, and they're not part of the unit. I feel like it should be an upgrade to the unit. It should be part of the unit. That would just make more sense. And of course the big down, which, okay, it depends how you roll, but losing a Skorpekh Destroyer. And yes, okay, you could have the Technomancer, so you potentially say, well, if I lose it, I can get it back. That's if the unit doesn't get totally wiped out. and I always roll ones. So in the old days, you used to have the Canoptic spiders, and they used to generate a scarab swarm, and you roll a dice, and on a 1 you take a wound, and I always rolled a 1 for that, so I'm bound to roll 1s for the plasmacytes. I think it should be, if you roll a 1, the plasmacyte dies and not the actual Skorpekh Destroyer, but yeah, I've decided no plasmacytes in my list. So have a look, see what you say. I keep my technos with my warriors. Yep. And not cast heavy destroyers. Well, they are useful. Yeah, but against other armies, you're not going to have to face Ramshackle. Exactly. Any chance I can ask you a question about your views on the Necron lore? You can ask, but I am not a lore bunny at all. It's my least favourite part of the hobby. So that's the polls. So in a second, we're going to have a look at my new 18-strong Skorpekh Destroyer themed list. But I think it might do quite well. I'm very happy with this list, actually. I haven't played it yet. I will be playing it. But I'm very happy with it. So we'll have a look at that in a second. Let's just get a few questions in, and we'll just see what you've got to say for yourselves. So Craig says, just painting 2 plasmacytes now. Laugh out loud. They're so cool, those miniatures. I've got, I think, what have I got? I've got 8, I suppose. Yeah, I've got 8, because I've got 2 with each Skorpekh Destroyer unit, and I've got 6 of the Ophidians, so I've got 8. And it makes up like a nice little unit. They should be a unit by themselves. That'd be cool. Personally inadequate. I think that's it. Anyone got any questions at all? We've got 33 people watching. Thank you, everyone. If you haven't pressed the like button, please do so, because I really appreciate it, and it would be great to get the most liked live stream that we can get, because that'd be cool. That would be cool. Okay, so let's have a look at my list, shall we? And this is going to come under, I can find it, here we go.
Necrons!
Tactical Corner.
Yes, we are Necrons of the Week. No, Tactical Corner. I tell you what, when you're going live, it's so easy to get all your words muddled up, and there's no retakes. You've just got to run with it. And when I'm actually live, it feels like I'm mumbling and fluffing everything. But then when I watch it back, it's fine. It's fine. It's just like a normal person talking. Okay, so let's have a look at my list. So I just need to set things up. Bear with me 1 second. Been enjoying your channel for a while now. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Marcus. I only play a plasmacyte when I have the points left, but never more than 1, even if I play multiple Skorpekh units. That's interesting. My list, which originally had plasmacytes, just had 1 in each unit. Do you still not rate warriors in your lists? Warriors are fine. It's just that I'm not playing them at the moment, really. Sorry, I'm late. What did I miss? Hello, Richard. Yeah, you missed a reasonable amount, so it probably would be worth watching back in the after the stream. First of all, though, stay for this bit, because we are going to look at my new Skorpekh list. And here we go. 9 AM start. Yes, yeah, thank you, Richard. Okay, the Skorpekh Crons. So, this list is purely based around taking 18 Skorpekh Destroyers. It is a themed list, but as always, I want it to work, and I think it will. So, this is what we've got. So, we've taken a Vanguard detachment. I personally prefer to take just 1 detachment if I can, just to help with getting as many command points as possible, because it can you know, taking several detachments can eat your command points. So we've gone for a command barge. It's got a Tesla cannon. Now I would normally take Gauss, but I had to cut down on some points. I've got the Staff of Light, and I have taken the Resurrection Orb. The Warlord trait, of course, Thrall of the Silent King, allowing me to have a bigger, longer range for my abilities, and of course the Relic, the Voltic Staff. And because I've got the longer range, I've also taken, of course, Hand of the Fair Run for 2 CPs, allowing me to do my Will Be Done twice. Very, very useful. And there you go, the 2 Chronomancers, and one will have a relic, the Veil of Darkness. I then have some troops. Now, obviously, I just want to say, as I do this, this isn't obviously how I built the list. I didn't build the list starting with the HQs and then the troops. I'm just showing you like what I've got. The list was built like in a different format, and gradually tweaked, like I've done on some of my other list building videos. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So we've got 2 units of Immortals. Now, as you can see, I've got 1 Gauss, 1 Tesla. What the hell? What's that all about? It's not usually my thing, actually. I usually go like all Gauss or all Tesla. However, I have been experimenting, and in particular on my Wraiths. And the reason for this, I'll be honest, is because Richard plays Orcs quite a lot, and he has that ramshackle rule. And I was finding that having the Wraiths with the claws and the 2 damage against his ramshackle stuff was really hurting me. So I decided to take 1 unit with the claws and then take another unit with the coils. So lots more attacks. Yes, they're weaker, but you get a lot more, and you could potentially use the stratagem for +1 to strength as well, which would help taking them up in strength. And it worked pretty well. And I thought I would just experiment with my Immortals and have some Gauss and some Tesla and just see how they go. Obviously, the Tesla ones will be the ones on the furthest away objective because they have 2 shots at 24 inches, and then the Gauss ones will be on a more forward objective, potentially, to make use of the rapid fire range. So yeah, that's what I've done. So I'm just going to experiment, and once I've played a couple of games, I may well go all Tesla or Gauss, depending on how I feel. But I thought it'd be fun to have one of each in there. Right, so let's move on up to the elites section. We've got, of course, the 3 units of 6 Skorpekh Destroyers, and there's no plasmacytes in there. We then have 2 units of 6 Flayed ones, and those, of course, are designed for secondary objectives. And we've got, believe it or not, a Canoptic Spider. Now, I have to be honest, the Canoptic Spider was the last thing that I put in the list after playing with a few points. I had some points left over because of my single detachment. The slots available to me to put the extra points into was quite limited. However, I thought the Canoptic Spider would be a good addition. I've got the beamers on there, so you get obviously the 2 beamers, and the Gloom Prism for a little bit of anti-psychic sort of defense. Bit of extra shooting, and they can do some work in close combat. Potentially, I could just hide him behind a piece of terrain on an objective. It's like multiple uses. So he is in there, believe it or not. But I think he could work. And then fast attack. Not too many surprises here. Let me just move that up a bit so you can see all of that. There we go. So yeah, fast attack, 2 units of Wraiths, and again I've gone for claws on one and coils on another. And then the heavy support, 3 heavy destroyers with Gauss destructors. And that comes in at 2,000 points, 6 CPs, because of course I've used the extra relic in there. Where are we? Here we go. Yeah, so I used the extra relic and also handed the fair on, so that was my 3 CPs extra used. But that is my list, 2,000 points. What do you think, guys? I'm really happy with this. I think I've got a lot of potential for mission objectives, covering the board, taking primary. I think I can do primary quite well. I think I've got lots of options for secondaries. You know, I could do raise the banner. I've got those flayed ones. I could just deploy them if I wanted to. Don't have to deep strike them. So I can do R&D, raise the banner. I could do engage in all fronts. You know, I've got lots that I can do with this list. So many options. So let's have a look at your comments. I'm sure you've been commenting away. Right, let me just see if I can scroll back up. Oh, now what screen are you on? Let's put you on this one. Can you see me? Yes, you can see me. Right. Nice list. Wait, no. Glocktopus would be on theme and had the same cost as the upgrade spider. Not quite sure what that is. Tactically, how will you be using the Skorpeks? They are going to be pushing forward. I'm going to have one unit in the middle with the command barge and the spider. And then they'll be flanked either side with a unit with the chronomancers in. And then I'm just going to basically push forward, aim away central position, and either hunker down on the objectives or push even more forward, obviously to attack. But don't forget I've got those 2 units of wraiths as well mixed in, so it will probably be I'm telling Richard all my plans, but he already knows how I deploy. So it'll be the Skorpekh Destroyers in the middle, and then it will be the wraith units either side of them, and then the Skorpekh Destroyers on the outside, or potentially the 3 Skorpekh Destroyers and the 2 wraith units on the outside. And I'm just going to push forward, and then I'm going to have obviously my backfield objectives covered, the heavy destroyers and the immortals. The flayed ones are sort of a free option, either deep strike them or deploy them at the back. You know, I've got just so many options with this list, which is what I'm really liking about it. So interesting, been a while, have just got Gav Thorpe's Shadow King novel. Great list. Tactics, a lot of aspects of the game. Tackles, a lot of aspects of the game. Gonna miss more. Pune but 3. Almost dead and don't have my charger. Oh, phone battery. Oh, sorry. Anyway, just want to say I've got a Nightbringer being converted commissioned wise for me. Looking good so far. Awesome. Glocktopus. But yes, it's the same points, and I think it's much better than the spider. What the hell is what is a Glocktopus? Hexmark Destroyer. Oh, is that what it is? I did look at Hexmark Destroyer, to be fair. And now there was a reason why I didn't put them in. Ah, yes. The reason I didn't put him in, is because I don't have the model painted. And when I played the Hexmark Destroyer previously, I had a proxy. I used an old metal immortal, which looks nothing like the rest of my army. And I got loads of comments actually saying, oh, moaning about me having a proxy. So I thought, no, I'll wait till I've got the model painted. But Hexmark Destroyer was certainly an option in this list, I have to admit. But I'm liking the spider, as you know. Wrong camera. I'm liking the spider in the list though, and that the gloom prism in there, and you know, I think it's going to bring that extra assault element to the list as well. You know, it's Novok, of course. Anyway, so yeah. Awesome list. Looking forward to seeing this in action. Thank you. Yeah, no surprises in deployment. I need to start watching the bat reps again. You should, Pete. You should. We're having a lot of fun with the bat reps. I feel like Richard and I have found our groove with them. You know, we've got a good mixture of fun, a good mixture of dice rolling, but not too much dice rolling. We've got a good mixture of like sharing tactical tidbits, but without going over the top with the tactics, and I feel I've hit a sweet spot with them now. Hopefully you think so too. Hexmark Destroyer, right, yes, okay. It's an octopus with a Glock in each tentacle. Okay, I've just never heard it called that before, ever. So yeah, that is my list. I'm really looking forward to playing it, and Richard and I will be playing potentially next week, if not in a few weeks' time. We'll have to see. I don't think I can do Wednesday, Rich, but I might be able to do the Friday if you can make the Friday. Okay, so we're into the last 10 minutes. I've covered everything on here with the exception of Q&A. That's what I've got written down. So it's Q&A time. So if you've got any questions to ask me, and this is your opportunity. Good back rep videos. Thank you very much. If I only watch you and Richard, I should manage. Yep. Oh, it's quite exciting the other day. I noticed that I had a few members change their badge to full green, which is like the longest membership. I think it's 2 years. So once you've been a member for 2 years, you get the full green. So that's the N, the green. Peter's on the red-green one, which is the second to last one. So I think that's the 18 months. So that is, it's quite nice how they do the little badges. So the longer you support, you know, you get an upgrade on your badge. And I had fun designing those. I tell you what, though, the little the image is so small in terms of the pixel count. It's so difficult to get anything that looks decent. But I was quite happy with what I came up with. Given the next chapter approved has Necron fluff, do you have hope for a Necron supplement? What would you like to see change in terms of points or rules? Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. So, do they actually have fluff in that new book? I know there's a picture of the Necron on the front cover, and what we know so far is we are going to get balanced secondary codex secondary objectives. So I'd imagine, you know, like the Necron ones will be in there, and they'll probably be tweaked slightly, as all the other ones will be as well. They haven't said anything about the missions, whether the missions are staying the same, but they have said about the CPs. So a difference in the CPs, which I think is a bit more like EOS, where you're going to start with less, but maybe get more as the game goes on. So maybe, I don't know, you might start with like 6 as opposed to the current 12. And then maybe you will get 3 or 2 CPs each turn, something like that. I think obviously it's going to depend. We'll have to see how it plays out, but I think it's a good idea because there are some armies which just like squander all of their command points. You know, they take like extra relics, extra warlord traits, then they use all the stratagems turn 1, and it will stop some of that shenanigans. So maybe it's going to be good for the game. Obviously, they've got the points now are going to be not in that book or the separate book. That's going to be free download. Great. The book looks pretty thick and it has like a flat spine. So I think it's going to be quite thick. I wouldn't be surprised if they still charge £25 for the book, even though the points aren't there. I used to play when I was really young, before 3rd edition, or around that time. Necrons used to be at unknown, like Terminators in space. Yeah, when I started in 3rd, that's when I fell in love with Necrons. So, are we going to get anything else in that? I don't know. I have a feeling not. It may be a prelude to the like campaign supplement thing that's like they keep doing now, which I've not really got into. I'm just not going to build any hopes up of anything being in there apart from it's just a Necron picture on the front. I mean, the last one had Space Marines on the front. No, it was Nurgle, wasn't it? A Death Guard on the front. Don't think they had any extra rules, and the previous one was Space Marines. They didn't have any extra rules. Did you see the guard player who came 14th in the Dallas GT by running 300 conscripts? Crazy. I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that. I have heard that Space Marines have won a couple of tournaments recently, but on top of that, the top sort of 5 armies are a bit different now. Obviously, there's the main ones are still there, but there's a bit more of a mixture. Yeah, things like Grey Knights and Drukhari that you auto score 1 to 15. Sorry, it looks like 1 to 5, but it was just a spec on the computer. 15 points, so they may take it tougher and give other factions secondaries that work. Hopefully, Necrons get points drops for HQs. Yeah, any points drops will be welcome. Yeah, I'm trying to think, what would they do with our secondaries? I'll tell you what I would like to see. I'd like to see the, I can't remember what it's called now, the Canoptic one, where you sort of, you choose the Canoptic banners and stuff. I'd like to see that happen in the same turn, rather than having to wait a turn. That would be really cool, and I think that would be a lot more playable. Maybe Empowered Orokin. I think we get the Sacred Awakening treatment again, but I'm happy to get knee model with bad rules. Maybe Empowered Orokin. Empowered Orokin would be really, really cool. Yeah, Psychic Awakening. Yeah, that was a bad one for us, wasn't it? I have no hope, to be fair. But if it happens, great. And I'll obviously be covering it on the channel. But how do you feel about how the crons have changed over the years? That's a very good question, actually. I love my Necrons, and they're very different now to what they were. I mean, they were a shooting army, and with the Gauss weapons, they were nasty. I mean, I remember playing against Imperial Guard and in one turn destroying 5 tanks in one turn. We were really good at shooting. Yes, we had the Wraiths and the Flayed ones, but they weren't an assault army. And obviously, with the introduction of the new miniatures and how the actual games changed, we've pretty much turned into an assault army with a bit of shooting. I mean, you can go shooty. We do have a shooty option, but we can't shoot as well as other armies. So, yeah, I think it's just, you just adapt and you get used to the different play styles. And I tend to make lists on units that I want to play. And my lists are usually pretty themed. And whilst, yes, I'm also trying to make them, pretty competitive as well, because I play Richard, who does a lot of sort of tournaments, list testing, and going to a tournament in a couple of months with his orcs. So, we're going to be play testing that. Oh, wow, we have, what is that? Peter, thank you so much. Is that a super chat? I think it is. Doesn't say super chat though, but either way, I'm going to pretend it's a super chat.
Super chat.
Thanks for donating.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much. Necrons. Let's give you a big
Necrons.
Being a Necron attracts girls. I'm so glad they no longer phase out. Phase out. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, phase out. Rat's Tail. I didn't play them, and when the change happened, I didn't keep up. I don't know anyone who has played them for that long time, and the law changed. Yeah, obviously the law changed. I haven't really read the new law. For me, my army's the old law. But yeah, I've been playing them since 3rd edition. I'm trying to convince Nick to come. Oh yeah, to the tournament. You haven't actually said anything to me yet, only on chat. Maybe. It's not that I don't like going to tournaments, but I might come with you if you're lucky. The Warp Forge. Hello, the Warp Forge. Yo, how's folks? We are all very well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's great to see. It is great to see you here. Yeah. Nick, please go to another tournament. I love your videos leading up to it and on the tournament. Okay, Craig. If I can get the weekend off work, then I will do it for you. Okay, how about that? Deal. We'll do a fist bump on it. Right. Phase out was okay. We had Space Marine profiles and RP was so much stronger. Yeah, and the rules were so basic back in the days. I mean, it was really easy to learn the codex. It was a disadvantage for me though, because I played Necrons for a very long time and my buddy had Space Marines. And I tell you what, he learned the rules much quicker than I did. I mean, the main rule book, you know, because he had like so many different options with the Space Marines that he got to learn all of those rules. You know, like they're fearless. I can't even remember them all now. Fearless and you know, disembarkation rules and you know all that stuff. And Necrons are just like pretty basic. And it was like the cheapest unit was 10 warriors at 180 points. So playing Necrons at 1,000 points was like really hard. You had, because in those days you had to have 1 HQ and 2 troops. So your HQ, Destroyer Lord with a Warsaw, I think was 210 points off memory. And then it was a normal Lord on foot with the Veil of Darkness and a Warsaw, 210 points. And then you had 2 units of warriors, 180 points each. So that's like a lot of points. And then you had, I used to put, I think, 3 destroyers in there, and they were 60 points each. You know, the points really added up very, very quickly. So we've always been an expensive army as such. It's the 13th or 14th of August. Now that might be a problem because I am going to Portugal for my fiance's family member, not quite sure exactly who, wedding. So I don't think I'm going to be around that weekend. Ever considered a few games against fans? I have, and I've actually played a couple of my subscribers. So if you're local or willing to travel, then I'm up for that for sure. Yeah, my car doesn't really allow me to travel that much, and I have a lot of commitments like with things like the school run, etc. And I work the weekends, so yeah, I have to book the time off. But yeah, if you're up for that, then hit me up. I like how Fritz calls Marines, they shall know no rules. Do you remember the old skimmer rules for land speeders? I do not remember them. No, I don't remember them. I remember the skimmer rules for the monolith. You could only hit the monolith on 6s in close combat. I remember that. Well, we can do confrontation one. Okay. Yep, that sounds good. Right, well, there we go. Just over 1 hour. I really hope you've enjoyed the live stream. It's been fantastic. Myself, I've had a lot of fun, and thank you for everyone for all the support. I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you very much to everyone.